distinguished entrepreneur in IT industry with 16 years of experience heading MSR IT Solutions Private Limited, an IT service company based in Kolkata and London. She has been consistently identified as a flag bearer with women in leadership in IT. She has 21 years of experience in the field of software products and services and has been involved with evolution of this sector in various capacities, starting with TCS and in the current role as the Managing Director and Director of Technology at MSR. Worked as the Chairman of Department of Social Media and Digital Communications, was responsible for running the social media pages and handles of West Bengal Congress. She also contested the Lok Sabha elections in 2019 as INC candidate from South Kolkata constituency. Over to you, Ms. Meeta.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chairman, members of the jury, very big good afternoon to all the members who are listening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. Now, I have been listening very patiently to some of the other debaters, and they have been making some very important points. As we all know, there's a popular saying that politics happens to be the second oldest profession in this world. And yet, a profession that was supposed to be a noble profession, a profession where the main owners and the main focus was supposed to be governance and nation building and giving a service, mind you, giving a service to the nation, has now been disgraced because of the behavior of a section of politicians. I will not say all politicians, but a section of politicians, and because of their greed and their lust for power and for money and for fame. Now, politics was always meant to be a professional choice, but nowadays it is often perceived as a business proposition, where a person comes in to make an investment in electoral politics, and once they're elected, they look at means of getting a return on their investment so that they can justify their cost. However, it was never meant to be looked at as a business proposition. It was meant to be looked at as a professional choice, where people with subject matter expertise, where people with different skill sets and knowledge, because we all know that knowledge is power, comes in and helps in policy building, helps in lawmaking, helps in effective governance, because these are the educated, tax-paying professionals or the people with subject matter expertise and skills who can actually talk about effective governance, who can talk about investment in areas like healthcare, in infrastructure development, education, rather than petty politics of caste, community, and identity politics. They can rise above the identity politics and they can talk about effective means of governance. That was what politics was supposed to be. Now, when we look at the past, how did we get here in India? And is it true for all over the world? Is it true globally? Let us explore that for a little while. So in past in India, we have seen how Maharajas and the Zamindars and the landlords who had a lot of influence on their voters had joined in politics, and then they have been complemented from people from the lower socioeconomic segments of the society who were often semi-literate, who looked at politics as means of advancing their lives, of earning a livelihood. And the educated middle class had stayed away from politics because A, they thought it was risk-taking, B, they thought the future is uncertain, and C, they thought it's too time-consuming, too scary because of the perception that politics had built over the years. If we draw a parallel, if we draw a comparison with the Western politics, we have seen in European countries, across European countries, how the educated middle class have been at the epicenter of political activism. we have seen how they have set up the political agenda and the political narrative in different countries. If you look at the US, we have seen in recent past, almost 16 of the nominees for the top position, for the American presidential position, had been ex-students from either Harvard or Yale University, and they had all been professionals, and they had all been successful in politics. However, in India, we often see that the middle class are shying away from politics. It's almost like saying that we need a clean house, but we don't want to be bothered to clean the house. We need to have a clean system, but we don't want to join the political process, because even before giving it a try, even before attempting to clean the process, we are saying we are too weak, we don't have enough resources, and we are trying to find a reason to not clean the process. Today in industry, we see that we are moving more towards a skill-based approach. In different industrial verticals, we see that there is a growing requirement of mapping skill sets and people talent sets with job requirements. Now, when we come to politics and we expect our political leaders to understand the growing, changing requirements of our industry, of our economy, don't you think that a professional with subject matter expertise, with skills in this area, are better suited to understand the growing and the changing and the evolving needs of our industrial verticals, and are in a better position to give effective governance to address those growing needs and growing change? When we say that a cricketing board should be headed by an ex-cricketer who has the subject matter knowledge, because knowledge is key, when we say a health ministry should be headed by a doctor because he has a subject matter expertise, then why and how are we asking the professionals to stay away from the political process? We also have seen as how educated professionals, how people with knowledge can actually cut across political barriers. Often they're respected. Someone like Dr. Shashi Tharoor, someone like Dr. Manmohan Singh, Arvind Kejriwal, who happens to be an ex-student of IIT, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was an economist and did a fantastic job in liberalizing Indian economy as a finance minister, and then went on with that work as a prime minister of our nation. As how they are respected by people across the political spectrum. So you can be a BJP supporter, or you can be a left-wing supporter or right-wing supporter. I get your point, sir. But we see as how they're respected across the spectrum. Just another quick point. It is this educated professionals who can connect with youth. A growing concern is that the youth have decided to stay away from the political process. They do not even come out in large numbers to vote. We need more participation from the youth, and it is this educated professionals who can bring in the change and can connect with today's youth and inspire them. Finally, the quality of a democracy depends on the quality of politicians participating in that democratic setup, sir. And I firmly believe that we need to raise the bar. We need to raise the standards of today's politician, and just by staying away is not going to solve the problem. We need to join in and clean the process and raise the bar and build a nation where people can look up to their politicians and do not find reasons to just accept and just bear with whatever is available. We need to give them more options. People want educated professionals as their leaders. Thank you very much.